For the last 6 months, I've been using the base 16-inch M1 Pro and decided not to upgrade to Mac Studio. I have some reasons why, which I'm gonna share with you in this video. We're gonna be talking about performance, specs, and my overall experience with this device. And really, I think it's a way better deal for you guys getting the M1 Pro Macbook instead of the Mac Studio. It doesn't matter whether it's a 14 or 16-inch MacBook Pro, you get an amazing display either way. Having Liquid Retina XDR and ProMotion with up to 120Hz refresh rate is fantastic. It's one of the best experiences I've had on a laptop. It's so smooth. Guys, this screen is beautiful. After using it for a while, the previous MacBook model and also my previous Windows laptop, the ZenBook Pro Duo, feels laggy and not as satisfying as the new MacBook Pro. But with the Mac Studio, you don't get that. You need to buy a display. Or if you already have one, it doesn't matter, but you need to get one. And the Mac Studio does not support 120Hz refresh rate. We have the 60Hz limitation. On top of that, it's a better idea to get a Pro Display XDR from Apple than native display. Using a display from a different brand might work out, but you won't get the best experience possible. And just a quick reminder, here's the price for the Pro Display. I have a backpack which is good for 15-inch laptops, and the 16-inch MacBook Pro fits in here perfectly fine. Obviously, the 14-inch MacBook Pro is even more portable, which is a huge upside. I've already said it in my previous videos. Portability really matters. And that is not the case for the Mac Studio. You just set it on your desktop and that's it. It's not portable at all. Listen, if you'll get the MacBook Pro just because of the display, I won't judge you, because this is probably the best display you can get from the Apple's universe, and you get it in one nice package. After all, you can always buy an extra display for the MacBook if you need to. The weight of the 16-inch M1 Pro is 4.7 pounds, which is kinda heavy, but for me it's fine. However, for portability, I would get the 14-inch model. It's 3.5 pounds, definitely much easier to travel with. I would say if you like the features you get with the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros, but your tasks are pretty light in terms of graphics, then get the base 14-inch model. One more reason is the webcam, which is 1080p. Remember in the M1 Air, which has the 720p webcam. On the 16-inch MacBook Pro, you can work almost all day long on a single charge. Apple states that you will get up to 21 hours playing back videos on the 16-inch and 17 hours on the 14-inch. But in reality, while constantly switching from one app to another, editing, coding, playing games, it will last you about half a workday. I haven't done a scientific test, but usually it's just about charging my MacBook twice a day. It's totally fine for me, especially because it charges very fast. And keep in mind that there is no performance decrease. Plugged in or not, either way, you will get the same results in performance. You also get the keyboard, the trackpad, insanely good speakers, which are probably the best speakers in a laptop ever. Just take a listen. And you get a really good studio quality mic. The sound you're hearing right now was recorded on the built-in microphone. But talking about Mac Studio, let's focus on this model specifically, the very base Mac Studio with 10-core CPU, 24-core GPU, and 32GB of unified memory. Because let's be honest, this is the model that most of us should consider. The M1 Ultra is in a completely different category. It's sure a beast of a computer that is for full-cycle productions, which is workflow, doesn't stand as close to the workflow of a one-man production. It's for extreme heavy lifting and is not worth getting just because it saves you a few seconds or minutes on your renders compared to the M1 Max, which is already powerful as fuck. Now let that sink in. The 24-core M1 Max chip in the base Mac Studio is exactly the same 24-core M1 Max chip we get in the MacBook Pro. And it may seem like the Mac Studio has a better cooling system and it's bigger and therefore performs better, but it's actually not true. And I personally don't have these machines on my hands, but we already have a bunch of tests on YouTube comparing these exact models, and the results are mind-blowing. We get similar results in benchmarks with the Mac Studio and sometimes even better on the MacBook Pro. We get almost exactly the same performance in each and every task, doesn't matter if it's 8K RAW or motion graphics in After Effects, which basically confirms the fact that the same M1 Max chip is the same M1 Max chip on both devices. And the shape of the Mac Studio with the brand new cooling system are not helping that much. We have the same limitations on both devices. Hence, two different devices but with the same power, but not with the same price. $3,200 for the 16-inch MacBook Pro and just $2,200 for the Mac Studio with the same 1TB SSD storage. And it may seem like a better deal, but in just a few minutes I'm gonna show you the best option that will save you money. For the 6 months I've been testing out my 16-inch M1 Pro and it's been through a lot, like 4K editing, 4K H.265 editing, decoding, upscaling to 8K, also motion graphics in After Effects, Unreal Engine, Xcode, Illustrator, InDesign, too many things. But let's get through this step by step. For GPU testing, let's open up Adobe After Effects and my latest project. This project involves footage that I downloaded from Envato Elements. It's 4K upscaled to 6K and also lots of extra layers with built-in plugins and simple animations. And right away, it plays back almost instantly. 30 frames per second, real time, sometimes dropping down to 20 to 25 frames per second. But it's great. Let's render this thing out, and it finished in 6 minutes and 19 seconds. The length of the video is 3 minutes, so it took just 3 minutes more to render this 6K video out. Unreal Engine, same thing. What you can do with this program is mind-blowing for gaming, photography, and filmmaking as well. So I've downloaded this free scene with buildings, and let's fly around this scene. On the M1 Pro, I'm getting around 60 frames per second almost all the time, sometimes dropping down to 40 frames, but it's going back to 60 pretty fast. Just for the comparison, the 13-inch M1 Pro is almost twice as slow. I was getting about 40 frames per second on average, sometimes dropping down to 20, but let's get to the actual numbers and build the lighting of this scene. So let's click Build, and the M1 finished in 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and the M1 Pro in just 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Well, that's fast enough for my workflow for sure. In the M1 Pro and M1 Max chips, we know that we have encoders and decoders. So here I have the 4K H.265 footage. On the M1 Pro, even when I have 6 different angles playing back at the same time, no problems. When I have 10 angles or 16 angles, well, it starts to slow down a little bit, but show me the person who needs to play back 16 angles at the same time. So H.265 works great, there is no reason for me to get anything more powerful than this. What about 8K footage? As soon as we start adding some color grading or effects, it instantly becomes unusable and really hard to work with. So it's not a good idea to edit 8K videos here, but you know, usually my workflow involves 1080p or 4K footage. I mean, the video you're watching right now is 1080p upscaled to 4K, and I think it's the same for most of the content creators out there. Being able to edit 6K or 8K videos on my Mac is not something that I really need. And 4K 10-bit footage plays back silky smooth, and that's the most important thing for me. Even on the 13-inch M1, the overall experience is very good. You can see some drop frames here and there, but still, you can work with this footage. Now let's render out the entire 4K video, and here we have these results. The M1 Pro finished in just 1 minute and 3 seconds, and the M1 1 minute and 31 seconds. Let me remind you that the length of the video is just 2 minutes and 26 seconds. I feel pretty confident to say that it's fast enough. Now let's go back to the M1 Max MacBook Pro, which obviously has more cores, 32 gigs of unified memory, but think about it. Is it really what you need for your workflow? Yes, your renders will be faster, almost 2 times faster, but I don't feel like paying extra $800 just for this. I'm fine with having a rest while my video exports out. Talking about Mac Studio, it's pretty interesting because it seems like Apple did it on purpose, making the base Mac Studio the same in performance as the M1 Max MacBook Pro. I think they did it because if they would have removed all the limitations on the Mac Studio, it would have made it more powerful than the MacBook, but the M2 is around the corner, and with the M2, M2 Pro, M2 Max, M2 Ultra, these chips just have to be better in something, otherwise why upgrading? But now we have the situation with two different devices, one for those who need portability and the second for those who get their work done in one place and has a monitor, a keyboard, a proper desk setup. Just two the same devices in terms of performance from one category, but two different devices in terms of use cases. But anyway, I want to show you the option that might save money for most of you. When something new comes out, in most cases it's not about, okay, I really need this device because my previous computer is pretty old and slow, so it's time to upgrade, I've been waiting for this, but just about FOMO, fear of missing out. You've watched every single video about Mac Studio, and after some time you admit to yourself, yes, I need it, it's so cool and powerful, how can I'm gonna sell this thing, I'm gonna take some money from my savings account, and you end up making an impulsive decision and therefore losing money. And it's very easy to fall into this. I think everybody has experienced FOMO in some way or another. I have. But if you know how it feels, it means you can fight this. So let's take a look at the options that might save you money in perspective. Number one option is the base 16-inch M1 MacBook Pro, like the one I have. In this case, you are paying $2,700, which is $500 more than the base Mac Studio. But you are getting an amazing XDR display with ProMotion, amazing speakers, built-in microphone, a great 1080p webcam, and of course, keyboard and trackpad. And what's the deal breaker for me? You get portability and great battery life. So you can work on your desk and you can travel with it. Flexibility matters. On top of that, you can get the base 14-inch M1 MacBook Pro for the same $2,200 as the Mac Studio. Why this is also a good option, find out in this video right here. So I'm pretty sure that for now, I'm gonna keep my M1 MacBook Pro instead of the Mac Studio. Getting the M1 Max chip is way overkill for my workflow, but anyway, if you want me to get the Mac Studio and test it out on the channel, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching and see you next time.